Hey, here's the full metal running gear upgrade from WPL for the B24 that I've got sat here. Recently done a video on it and pros and cons, and a bit of it is the stock running gear. There's not much information or instructions about it, even down to what this red liquid is. It's either super glue or thread lock. Gonna have a look at it and see if we can work out where it all goes, which is part of the fun of it. So probably the most hardest bit of this so far is putting the drive shafts together. The yoke is simple, just put it in at an angle and then push it in and straighten it up. But to connect the ends of it, you need to insert one of these larger sort of slugs with a small hole in. They are very snug, good fits. Both of them ready, and we've got the hole showing. So we get this piece, line the hole up with the hole in the other bit, drop the pin in through, and match your drive shaft connected to this part that screws into the output shaft. And a very ingenious way, these are like what you get on your keyring. A very tight wound coil of, it's like stainless steel or spring steel or something. But slide it up from the drive shaft, line up on one of the ends of it, put your nail over it, walk it onto the bead. It's a little bit fiddly, but it can be done. What I've been doing is just making sure the join's halfway round that you've just fed it onto. Right, that's half of it done. Really nice way of doing it. There's a lot of nice travel on that, and it does feel quite solid. Let's see if I can do this next one a bit faster. So that's the two halves of the drive shaft with the output shaft couples on. Put it in at an angle, put your dog bone in one side, and then it just slides in, and that's not coming out of there unless you really manipulate it at a certain angle. Right, that's two fully extendable drive shafts. This is going to make it a much more capable truck. Yeah, the actual housing is still going to be plastic, but I assume two of the four bearings left over will go on the small bevel gear that meshes with the drive shaft gear. That goes inside there. Set it up ready to go in. This had the drive shaft in, or part of the drive shaft, and it very easily pops out. Grasp it here and pull it, and it detaches. So one bearing up against the bevel gear, and the bearing sits in the other side, and that is really nice. I know it's a plastic housing, but it's running on metal, so that's all good. The grub screws, I've got two left over. They pretty much do all the fixing. Axles the wheels bolt onto, threaded here. Brilliant. Beveled gear. A grub screw in there to sit on the flat, free for the back axle. Then, as you've seen previously, putting the drive shaft together, that's just another grub screw in the front and the back, and that will subsequently clamp onto this driven gear and then onto the transfer box. That's the whole drive line for the rear. For the front, much the same. The larger beveled gear, grub screw in there, same with the drive shaft. The dog bones for the steering on the front axle, they take a grub screw as well. Then we get to the steering axles and driven steering axles. We have a screw in, or a bolt. Getting to the hubs, you have the longer bolts, which are there only two. All the rest are the same size, these little small ones. They sit on top of the hub and below. From what I can see, these will be inserted as collars, I would imagine, something like that. So it's got the bushing to rotate on. These larger bearings, most of them came with the little bearings popped in. It looked like they were supposed to be like that. If you need to get them out, just put your rod in and sort of yank it. But if you push it all the way in and you can't get it out, just get one of these axle, use that as a bearing pusher. There you go. And that journey of discovery answers itself. Looks like these two larger bearings mount in the hub and give you very minimal play. Lovely smooth rotation. And then this will sit in here. Don't want to get too much grease on the gear before I do it up. And this tube of stuff, the only thing that can be it being red like that is high strength Loctite. Onwards and upwards, just before the case gets put back together, or the axle, or the differential, whatever you want to call it. And these ends are pushed right up, but they've had thread lock, and I've done it in this orientation, straight down and locked them in. You get the excess come up the top, so I've been very, very careful to wipe it over so it doesn't get on the plastic and melt it. All I'm going to do is put this grease in before I put the case back together and make sure it's all meshing up. There you go, that's how it pretty much meshes. Buttoning up the back end of this drive shaft onto the transfer case. Obviously it uses a friction fit with, it's like a flat nail, but just for good measure I've got a little like needle file and I've filed a flat on it. There we go, that's on. I've already put the thread lock on there. That's the back end upgraded with the metal running gear, and it does feel really smooth. The shaft just pops, but I'll take this opportunity quickly to remove that. That's how easy that drive shaft is to remove. Hold on to the metal shaft and then just pull on the other. As easy as that. Plenty of drive shaft spare for my son's. Gonna file a flat on this quickly before I get into the front end. Okay, front axle and assemblies disassembled. The steering linkage is taking the larger, or two of the larger bushings, which leaves one for steering to servo linkage. Snug as a bug in a rug, and there's no slop whatsoever. As you can probably see, I'm packing the dog bone in the cups with grease. Back together, really, really smooth running. See, it's getting a nice pattern. That's good. So this should be on the bottom. Oh, there you go. That's the WPL OP metal upgrade, I think they call it, but it's a full metal running gear upgrade. Just a matter of putting wheels back on. This isn't right, but it'll do for now. All I'm going to do is flip this bolts upside down and stick some thread lock on. I hope this has helped you out and given you an insight how all these parts go together and an instruction. There's a playlist in the top right for my WPL saga that encompasses the Hercules Hilux truck, the kit of this, building it up, its stock performance, the upgrades. Next up is a dual motor transfer case, hence the necessity of doing this first. This should bode well for it because they are staggered and in line with the tank, so there's less angle on the drive shaft. Thanks for watching, catch you later, happy driving.
Io falei, hey!